Hi, I'm Catherine Reid, host of the St. Paul Forum, and coming up next we're going to be talking with Mychael Wright about Selbydale area and the Selby Avenue Jazz Festival. That's next on the St. Paul Forum. Hi, I'm Catherine Reid at the St. Paul Forum, and joining me today is Mychael Wright, the director of the Selby Avenue Jazz Festival. Welcome, Mychael.
Thank you, the old founder.
Old founder.
There you go.
That's
Yes.
good. You know, before we talk about the festival, I want to talk a little bit about you because this is the first time I've had a chance to meet you, but you're a little bit of a legend in my mind because you've been doing this wonderful Golden Time coffee shop, and it's at the corner of Selby and
Milton?
Milton.
Yes.
And I really want to hear a little bit about the vision you have for that and why you decided to plant yourself there.
Well, I tell you, I'll be straight and to the point. It was the last place I wanted to go and put a business in.
That's pretty interesting.
Well, yes, there was several other areas that I was interested in, but they kind of fell to the wayside. And my brother-in-law really wanted me in this particular spot. He was revitalizing that building and remodeling it. And so it's really like the Wicked Witch of the East dropped that house there, or the house fell on the Wicked Witch of the East. And so, you know, it was a bit precarious at first, but it was something that I learned shortly after opening that was very necessary for the community.
Let's describe the area because some people know that area very well, but you know, a lot of people have very different views of it. So what we're talking about is sort of Selby to Dale avenues. Is that right?
Well,
Selby
actually-
Avenue between. You go ahead and say the geography.
Actually, between Dale and Lexington.
There we go.
Yes, there's a whole strip there that had a good renaissance there about 7 years ago with the director of Selby or CDC, Stacy Millette.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Lot of energy with that lady, and really got some things running and going for us. But we still have a long ways to go. With the coffee shop being there and the community galvanizing, if you will, bringing people together, just envision them opening up their curtains and meeting on the corners and having a place to come and converse and reunite with one another. Unfortunately, you know, the late 60s and 70s for a good part of Selby weren't the best. Unfortunately, there were some things going on that are, you know, became pretty decadent for the area. And so Selby isn't the old Selby of what it was. We have great people. It's come a long way. Like I just mentioned, it has a ways to go. And so I just happen to be a little part of that as we're trying to bring more businesses onto Selby Avenue. Now, I do beat the drum that I like to see African American businesses come on Selby with the demise of the Rondo area community, which I was about 4 years old when it happened, and remember walking across.
For those who don't know, the Rondo neighborhood was ripped apart essentially by the Interstate 94, which really took a big swath right out of the heart of the community. Homes, I assume churches and institutions, businesses were all taken down, and it destabilized the neighborhood and just basically put a scar through it.
Absolutely.
So the recovery, if you will, has been in multiple ways. And what you're saying is that Selby has become an important part of that reconnectivity?
Absolutely. Bringing folks back together that has been fragmented. You know, one of the things I look at is that that's the only way, too, we can close that wealth gap, if you will, between black and white and brown, and have people be self-reliant, pull the bootstraps up, and doing good business. And you may come in and see people with a different hue, but still giving you good service and good product.
I've noticed quite a few new businesses along there. I had a kid who went to Central High School, so that's one of our
My alma mater.
paths. Oh,
Yes,
good.
absolutely.
Okay. And I've been noticing there are some new businesses popping up. Are there? Can you describe kind of what's along there for people?
Absolutely. We have a couple wellness centers as far as chiropractic, and as quiet as it's kept, a lot of businesses are even coming off of Grand Avenue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the rent's too darn high.
It's too high over there, yeah.
So we have a good influx of folks from Grand Avenue.
Does that mean like retail? 'Cause I think of that as retail, so it's little
Yes,
shops.
retail.
Well, I've noticed there's this little one that I haven't stopped in yet called Primp, which looks really fun. That's a
Yes.
women's shop on the corner of Selbydale.
Selbydale, yes, and doing very well, as I understand.
I would think so because
Yeah.
it's super cute. And then
Yes.
I know there's a Thai restaurant and there's some others, but I'm kind of at that one end,
Yes.
working our way. There's also the School of Music has been, isn't there a School of Music somewhere there?
There is a Walker West,
Walker West.
Music Academy. Now, when you talk Primp back, you're talking about what I refer to as like, that area has come a long way and is doing very well, and is very vital and a lot of energy. With Great Harvest Bread and Cheeky Monkey and just to name a few. But coming back,
Back toward Lexington.
towards Lexington,
Which is where they'll
Dale.
find you.
Well, is where they'll find me, but we have to beautify Dale West towards Lexington. We
Yes.
have to bring it up, as you see with the area I just mentioned, Primp and then Cheeky Monkey and the other shops. So we want to see that revitalization come that way, a resurgence of business, mixed, minority and all. But again, I like to see more professionalism from the Black community come and be part of this renaissance.
So we're thinking of you as a business owner.
Yes.
And a coffee shop person.
Yes.
But you're really speaking economic development strategy. So is that one of the hats you're wearing?
Yes, I chair what's called the Selby Avenue Action Coalition. We're not a 501c3, but we have a great group of people who are business-oriented, who are residents, as well as some clergy and nonprofits. And so, we're basically the voice, or want to become the voice, but everybody's welcome in making Selby from Dale to Lexington become very prosperous, to bring new development as far as residential into fold as well, because you can't just go commercial because it's too volatile. You need that residential.
Got to have that residential base. So
Absolutely.
you're looking at some increasing density,
Yes.
a few apartments, condos, whatever, and just continuing to increase density there?
Absolutely, and that also helps fuel supporting the businesses that are there. Yes.
That sounds great. So one of the things we want to make sure we talk about is this upcoming Selby Avenue Jazz Festival. And I know there's a long history with it, right? It's been how long that you've been doing
This
it?
will be our 12th year.
12. So you said you'd only been here 13 since
13
you
and a
came
half,
back
yeah.
home. So this was your idea.
Yes, I came up with the idea. I hadn't had a grand opening, so I did a mix of a grand opening and
grand
a test.
opening of the coffee shop.
Of the coffee shop, yes, my second year in. And, it was really accepted well by the community. Now, I didn't really anticipate doing it long term, but I was inundated with a response from the community that they really enjoyed it. And honestly, it just took on a life of its own. And from 400 to 500 people the first year to upwards now of 15 to 17,000 people throughout the
Oh
year.
my gosh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. So tell us where well, first of all, we'll get the date in people's minds. So it's on September 14th?
September 14th.
And it's an all-day
Saturday.
or an
Yes.
evening?
All day. It kicks off at 11 sharp till 7:30. A mix of 7 to 8 bands with a segment called the Jazz Heritage Showcase in between. And we bring a lot of the local entertainment as far as jazz is concerned. But what really kicked the Jazz Fest off is when I themed it. And I brought a lot of genres of Latin jazz in, European and traditional jazz, American jazz, and also Caribbean, and mixed it up a bit. And it really took on, again, another life of its own and just exploded. So we really grew phenomenally there from our 6th year to now our 12th year.
Wow. And so tell me, where did you get your knowledge of jazz?
I have an uncle. His name is Jesse Brazier. And he doesn't know it. Well, I try to allude to him what an impact he had on me as a young kid. And you never know what young kid's looking at you from afar, but they'll pick something that really appeals to them. And he gives me a sense of a Bill Cosby type of a guy. You can walk into the house and smell his cigar or his pipe, or you'll hear him upstairs playing the scales of his clarinet or saxophone. And his son Mark, which was probably more like a brother than a cousin, played the drums, and they were great musicians. And so they were jazz musicians for the most part. Mark also played rock and roll and all that good stuff. So, but the jazz part of it really influenced me, and how many people it brings together from black, white, polka dot, and stripe. So it's something that really impacted me, and something that I kind of hold dear to my heart as I grew up, not knowing that I really was going to do this. You don't know what the good Lord has in store for you. So you really have to just kind of listen and just go with the flow.
Yeah. So you learn the jazz by hearing, not by being a professional musician or playing yourself?
Sure.
So it's all listening and
listening,
the relationship.
I dabbled a little bit, but nothing I would ever get on stage with.
So when you decided to do this festival, was this your own investment? You were the sponsor essentially of this? So
for the first 6 years, and then we took on some staff, if you will. Selby area CDC, which is no longer, was part of it, and help grow this. Our staff people, as far as Dave Bonko, Janet Williams, my wife Stephanie, Dot, Orame, and a few others who help keep it tight and do the things that are necessary to promote it.
Is it take like a whole year to plan this one-day event, or how much time do you actually get on top?
For me, it does. I'm negotiating, with musicians and really thinking about what that next theme and or feel is. And basically, I want people to go away excited, not incited. Yes.
So I'm curious, what's your theme for this year? What can we look forward to?
Well, the theme this year is kind of, it's musically based, but it's going to be bass, it's going to be sax, and keys. And that's kind of just the theme this year. It's a good eclectic mix, as jazz is, of music coming together in one area that also has become a reunion for many folks in the community, if not part of the whole region, because we have a lot of folks coming throughout the region now in our 12th year.
Because they just
partaking.
It's really gotten
Yes.
to be
Good publicity.
Really well known. So are people going to know these acts that are coming? You want to tell us about some of the highlights of your schedule?
Absolutely. Well, we have as a headliner Marcus Johnson out of Washington, D.C. He's a piano player as well as keys. Very classy individual, very smooth individual. We also have a young man that the connection came from ex-Councilman Melvin Carter Jr. This is a gentleman, Damon L. Brown, who plays a saxophone kind of on a gospel tip, if you will. And so that's his contact, and he brought me a CD to listen to, and I was amazed. The gentleman's very, very good. So we're going to bring him up from Florida.
Is he just one person, or is he a band?
These are both bands, yes. And he'll also use some local musicians once he gets here.
So you'll see he'll pick some people to join him.
Absolutely.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, definitely there's such a wealth of talent in the Twin Cities for music and for musicians. We also have, we kick it off with Dick and Jane's Brass Band.
Fun.
And they do a procession before.
I had a feeling there must be something like that starts it off when you said at 11 sharp.
Yes.
Something said to me, parade down.
A small parade with a brass piece, about a 6 to 8 piece brass band that meanders, if you will, through the Jazz Fest. At the epicenter of Selby and Milton, they do a little piece, then they get on stage and do a little piece.
So the stage is actually right by the coffee shop?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
So and then, when they start the parade, it goes from where to?
Well, the parade starts at Victoria.
At Victoria, okay.
And comes on down.
Okay.
Yeah, through the 4 quadrants of the Jazz Fest, if you will,
Very
because we
fun.
block it in a block radius.
Oh, it's a block radius.
Yes.
Okay, I was trying to picture that too, because sadly, I have never gone. My daughter was trying to go, and it just has always fallen on a weekend for us when but whatever.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, hopefully we'll get you there
I'm
this year.
hoping so.
Okay.
But so I haven't actually experienced it, but I've read about it a lot and known it's just been a big hit. Tell me a little bit. I know you're talking about these great performers and these great musicians, and my mother happens to live in the same building with Melvin's father.
Sure.
So he's always playing. They play
We've
at
had
that.
him play, yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're a great musical family.
Yes.
But I would like for you to talk about what does jazz mean to you, and what do you think it means to the country or to the area?
Well, I think as far as I look at it as the black community, our culture. Unfortunately, it has fallen by the wayside with many of our black aficionados, jazz-wise. And we just hope to, with this, it brings people back into the fold. It reunites them. They can really smooth with each other, if you will. It's just that kind of feel. I basically say it's like Big Bird and Sesame Street putting something together. It's that kind of feel. And just to say a little bit about the officers who are on duty, they throw their names in a hat and hope to get the detail because it's easy overtime.
Really?
Because it's so laid back.
Yeah, it's such a nice
place. But it
place.
means a lot to the community. It means a lot to bring people, back into the area to see the possibilities and opportunities once again on Selby.
And now, again, since it is this whole day, and you're saying it's a whole area, obviously there's something to eat, there's maybe other things to buy. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we have one area that is just all food, and you can get anything from jambalaya to gumbo. You can get your fried fish, your catfish, your shrimp, your hush puppies, your West Indies soul has been part of it for so long. You get your meat pies and Caribbean.
They're great.
They are great.
I love that. Is it the food truck?
It is a food truck,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
But she used to bring her
I
tent and
love
everything.
them, yeah.
A lot of food trucks popping up now.
I'm sure.
So it's a variety of things, and I'm leaning more towards a New Orleans feel, if you will.
That sounds really good.
Thank you.
So it's food.
Yes.
Are there other vendors there?
Yes. Well, not only the entertainment area and bistro area, but we also have interactive activities for kids, working with Stepping Stones, working with the Science Museum, Sprockets, to name a few again.
Wow.
And Janet Williams has been overseeing this for about 4 or 5 years now and does a great job. And then what we have, what I call the Village. It's for the promotion of nonprofits, for-profit businesses, and since this is almost the last outdoor event before the snow flies, arts and crafts. Yes.
Very nice. So that I love that idea of the. Say it again. That's the marketplace. No, what did you call this?
The Village.
The Village.
Yes.
The Village itself. And so, why did you call it the Village?
It's an assemblance of so many people who care for each other, who love to interact with each other. Again, it's a huge community reunion. And so you look up there and it's like a village, and just the masses of great hues of people, and just a real great feel.
So it sounds like that economic development strategy is right there at the Village, where you're communicating. You can market yourself, which is essential, but it sounds like you're also giving people the opportunity to find some tools for themselves. Like, am I reading too much into it? Meaning, not literally tools, but like if you were thinking about starting a business, there's something there. It sort of sounded like there's.
Well, you can get a
resource.
feel and a sense of your surroundings and the type of people who are from the community. You can promote yourself, so you can ask questions. So it's a real good way to really get a sense of, is it possible? What would it be like? What would it feel like? So, and what we can do is utilize Jazz Fest to bring people back into the fold as the Jazz Fest is over, but continue to come down from Dale to Lexington and all through Selby. It's a great corridor.
How have you been able to finance this? Is it sponsorships? Is it grants? Is it all of the above?
All of the
partnerships?
Yes, all of the above.
I mean, you mentioned the Science Museum.
Yes.
Do they have a grant themselves to be part of it, or Stepping Stone Theater? How do they?
Yeah. Well, they're part of the family fun zone, if you will, and that's interactivities for kids. Otherwise, we have great partners in Alina, if I may mention.
Yeah, please.
Okay,
absolutely,
UCare.
because you can't do it by yourself, right?
No, not at all. The Cultural Star Grant, Minnesota Arts Board, sponsors like Western Bank, I want to make
Yeah,
sure I
well,
get
you
them on
don't-
the
yeah,
villager
and we'll make sure that,
insight.
oh, good,
Okay.
yeah, well, and we'll make sure that people can get to the website and look. But I just, when you talk about something that's gotten this big, it takes a lot of resources, and it's a free event, is that right?
is
There's no,
yeah.
it's non-ticketed, so it's, a free event. The vendors will be getting something, but in order for you to bring in all those acts,
Yes.
you got to have some pockets to make all that happen.
Yeah,
So those funders have, tell me a little bit about why those sponsors made the investment from your perspective.
Well, I think what they see is a community that's revitalizing itself, really trying to re-identify itself, and they want to come in and be part of that resurrection. And so, with Alina and UCare, the health and wellness part of our community is something that is something very dear to my heart in healing our community from within.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of obesity, hypertension, many things are going on. And so stress-related, absolutely.
Illnesses, and
Yes.
so that obviously your activity is designed to. It seems to me that everything in what you talk about is the intentionality of helping people. I love the description at the beginning. Pull the curtains back, get curious, get outside, meet your neighbor. It's that process of kind of stepping into the community, and all of that eventually helps relieve stress. It's
Yes.
getting out there and it's modeling, doing things, and being active.
Absolutely.
So clearly, they're going to find that appealing because that's the solution to all kinds of health issues.
Yes, good mental health day. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So that sounds great. I mean, it's wonderful that you've been able to get all those resources. I'd like to just make sure we talk a little bit about what you think helps. You're there in that coffee shop. It's now described as the new commons in our culture. Every community is putting its coffee shop out there, but yours in particular seems to have this soulful purpose. So kind of what are the topics that are really on, what are you seeing surface? You're probably a place where people signal kind of what's next on people's minds.
Sure. We have such a mix of people that come through. Equality is an issue. We have a lot of nonprofits. They come in and talk about equality. Bringing African Americans up and the opportunities, and so that is a very topic that is very close to a lot of people's hearts, and I love the dialogue that's beginning between black and white, in order to overcome a lot of intrinsic obstacles that have been with us for so many years, and we need to shed them. And so the coffee shop and listening to the folks from educational backgrounds, through social backgrounds, through the civic background, come together under one little roof and get some things done. Some of the best meetings have happened at Golden Time,
I've heard that.
And that's from the customer base, if you will, not me.
Well, I hear a theme of listening, and if you think that listening, having two ears instead of and just one mouth means listening, and then obviously the Jazz Festival is all about listening, but also the currency of music being something that brings us all together, breaks down barriers. It sounds like that's a big thread for you. So what do you want to make sure the audience knows in order to get to this festival and to the area?
Yes.
It's coming up.
It's coming up Saturday, September the 14th. We kick off at 11 to 7:30. And so if there's anybody out there who would like to be part of this,
you're looking for volunteers?
Oh, look, not only volunteers, but also people who want to promote their art, their nonprofit and or business, as well as volunteer. All is welcome, because we'll sure find something for them to do.
And we'll have the way to do that is that they get the website or they give you a call at the Golden Time.
They call at Golden Time, which is 651-645-1340, or they can go on the Selby Avenue Jazz Fest website, www.selbyavjazzfest.com.
Okay, and they can connect. Not too late for people to volunteer.
No, never too late.
Or just come up with anything that they'd like to have happen.
Absolutely.
Well, I think what you're doing is really special, and I'm glad. Can we expect another year after this, or do you always wait to see till you've closed the day?
Oh yeah, I'm already on.
You're already
next
on
year.
it, so we can count on it. So
Yes.
you said this is 13th year?
12th
year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're going to make it to 15 anniversaries?
God willing. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Are there any CDs available for what you do?
There will be CDs through the headliner and the co-headliner.
Okay, and
yes.
those, tell us again who they are.
That is Damon L. Brown, which is the co-headliner, as well as Marcus Johnson as the
Marcus
headliner.
Johnson,
We
okay.
just had put in a new band as well, Johannes Tona, and I think he just had a CD release. I'm sure he'll have CDs for sale as well.
So they're going to be, but there isn't any production of the whole festival.
Well,
A
not right
sampler.
now, but we're hoping to work with SPNN on that.
Oh, that'd be fun. So
Yes.
there may be a CD sampler or some sort of something that'll show people.
Absolutely.
Get a view of the whole
Yes.
whole day.
There you go.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mychael. That's all we have time for. Please join us again next week on the St. Paul Forum.